What if I told you most cars don't die because they hit some magic mileage number? They die because drivers repeat a handful of habits that quietly cook their engines, transmissions, and fuel systems for years, sometimes decades, without ever realizing it. I've seen it happen over and over again. Someone buys a solid, reliable car. They think they are taking care of it. They change the oil when they remember. They top off the tank. They let that little noise slide for a few months. And then one day, they are staring at a $4,000 repair bill, wondering what went wrong. Meanwhile, there is another owner with the exact same car, same year, same engine, same everything, cruising past 350,000 miles with the original transmission. What's the difference? It's not luck. It's not some secret mechanic. It's habits. Today, I'm giving you 21 proven habits that can push a normal, everyday car into the 300,000, 400,000, even 500,000 mile club without living at the mechanic or spending a fortune on repairs. And I need you to pay attention to a few specific ones. Whatever you do, don't skip habit number 6, because it prevents one of the most expensive failures people don't see coming until it is already too late, and they are looking at a transmission replacement. Also, habit number 3 is going to save you from one of the most annoying, frustrating check engine problems on Earth. The kind that keeps coming back no matter how many times you clear the code. Let's get into it. Number 21st, the cold engine equals fragile engine rule. The first few minutes after you start your car are when your engine is at its most vulnerable. I am not exaggerating. Engineers estimate that a significant portion of total engine wear happens during cold starts. Here is what is actually happening under the hood. When your engine sits overnight, oil drains down into the pan. When you fire it up, there is a brief moment where metal is touching metal without full lubrication. Add in the fact that cold oil is thicker and does not flow as easily, and you have a recipe for accelerated wear. Do this. Start the car. Wait 10 to 30 seconds, just enough for oil pressure to build. Then drive gently. Keep the engine revolutions per minute low. Do not use hard acceleration. Do not floor the accelerator to merge onto the highway. And do not hit the red line until the temperature gauge starts climbing toward normal. I know it is tempting when you are running late, but those 5 minutes of gentle driving can add years to your engine's life. Why it matters. Less cold friction equals less long-term wear. Period. Engines that get babied during warm-up last dramatically longer than engines that get hammered from a cold start. Keep this tight, because the next habit is the one that silently destroys oil, even when you think you are changing it on time. Number 20. Short trips are harder on your engine than you think. This one catches a lot of people off guard. If your typical drive is 5 to 10 minutes, maybe you live close to work or you are just running errands around the neighborhood, your engine often does not fully heat soak. It never reaches optimal operating temperature long enough to burn off the contaminants that naturally build up. Moisture accumulates inside the engine. Fuel dilutes the oil. Acids form. And over time, you end up with sludge buildup that chokes the life out of your engine, even if you are changing the oil on schedule. This is why cars that only do short trips often have more engine problems than highway cruisers with double the mileage. It sounds backwards, but it is true. Do this. Once a week, take your car on a proper drive. I am talking 15 to 25 minutes of sustained driving where the engine fully warms up and stays there. Think of it as a health drive for your car. And if your life is mostly short trips, do not stretch your oil change intervals like someone who is doing 80% highway miles. Your oil is working harder than theirs. Treat it accordingly. Keep going. Because number 19 is the simplest 30-second habit that saves engines, and almost nobody does it consistently. Number 19, check your oil level, not just your oil change date. People love to argue about oil brands online, synthetic versus conventional, this additive versus that one. Hours of debate. You know what nobody talks about? Running low on oil. That is the thing that actually kills engines. Here is the reality. Many modern engines consume some oil between changes. It is within spec. It is normal. But if you never check, you might be running a quart or two low for months without knowing it. That means less lubrication, more heat, more wear, and eventually catastrophic failure. Do this. Check your oil level every 2 weeks. Or if you want an easy rule, every 2 fill-ups at the gas station, pop the hood and check. It takes 30 seconds. If you notice it is dropping faster than it used to, do not ignore it for 6 months hoping it goes away. Investigate. A slow oil consumption problem caught early is manageable. Caught late, it is an engine replacement. Keep this tight, because number 18 is the difference between a clean engine and a sludgy one, and it is something almost every owner gets wrong. Number 18, match your oil interval to your driving, not the fantasy scenario. This is where car manufacturers get a little optimistic. Your owner's manual might say you can go 7,500 or even 10,000 miles between oil changes. Technically, under ideal conditions, that might be true. But those ideal conditions assume moderate temperatures, highway driving, no dust, no towing, no traffic. How many of you actually drive like that? Be honest. Most people deal with stop-and-go traffic, hot summers, cold winters, dusty roads, and short trips. That is called severe service in the automotive world, and it means your oil breaks down faster than the manual assumes. Do this. Use the oil weight and specification your manual calls for. That part matters. Choose your change interval based on reality, not the best-case scenario some engineer calculated in a lab. And always, always change the filter with the oil. A fresh filter is cheap. Engine damage from a clogged filter is not. If you are finding value in habits like this, go ahead and subscribe to Torque and Throttle. I am building a full series dedicated to keeping cars alive for cheap, real maintenance strategies that actually work. Now keep watching, because number 17 is about transmissions, and people ruin them without even realizing what they are doing wrong. Number 17, lifetime transmission fluid usually means lifetime of the warranty. This is one of the biggest lies in the automotive industry, and it drives me crazy. Some manufacturers claim their transmission fluid is lifetime fill, meaning you never need to change it. Sounds great, right? One less thing to worry about, except here is what they are not telling you. Lifetime does not mean the lifetime of the car. It means the lifetime of the warranty. After that, they do not care what happens. The truth is, transmission fluid breaks down over time. Heat is the killer. Every time you sit in traffic, tow something, or drive aggressively, that fluid gets hotter. Hot fluid oxidizes. Oxidized fluid loses its ability to lubricate and transfer power smoothly. And once the damage starts, it accelerates. Do this. If your car allows for transmission fluid service, and most do regular drain and fill services. Not necessarily flushes, but drain and fill services where you drop the pan, replace what comes out, and button it back up. Every 30,000 to 50,000 miles is a reasonable interval for most drivers. Now, if your transmission has been neglected for 150,000 miles and you have never touched the fluid, be careful. Sometimes old, worn fluid is the only thing holding a damaged transmission together. In those cases, consult a trusted professional before doing anything aggressive. Keep this tight, because number 16 is a driving habit that quietly smacks your transmission every single day, and you probably do not even notice you are doing it. Section 16. Stop switching drive and reverse while still rolling. We've all done it. You're backing out of a parking spot, the car's still creeping backward, and you throw it into drive to pull forward, or vice versa. That little "I'm basically stop" shift sends a shock load straight through your drivetrain. Transmission, CV joints, differential, all of it absorbs that impact. Once in a while, probably fine. Every single day for years, you're grinding away at components that cost thousands to replace. Do this. Come to a complete stop. Pause for 1 second. Then shift. That's it. 1 second of patience protects years of drivetrain life. It feels slower. It's not cool or exciting, but neither is a $3,500 transmission rebuild. Next up, the cooling system habit that literally decides whether your engine lives a long life or dies young. Number 15. Never let overheating be normal. I cannot stress this enough. Most engines do not recover from repeated overheating events. When an engine overheats, metal expands. Head gaskets get crushed, cylinder heads warp, aluminum components distort. Even if you manage to cool it back down before something catastrophic happens, you have done damage that accumulates over time. Some people see the temperature gauge creeping up and think that it always does that in traffic, and that it is fine. It is not fine. Every time the needle climbs into the danger zone, you are rolling the dice on a very expensive repair. Do this. Watch your temperature gauge. It is boring, but pay attention. Many modern cars use idiot lights instead of gauges, so do not rely on the light alone. Do not ignore slow coolant loss. If you top off coolant every few weeks, something is leaking. Find it. Look for telltale signs: dried residue near hose clamps, crusty buildup around the water pump, and white residue near the radiator cap. These are warning signs that the cooling system needs attention before it fails completely. Keep going, because number 14 is the cheap prevention most people skip until they are stranded on the side of the highway in August. Number 14, replace weak coolant before it becomes corrosion. Coolant is not just colored water sitting in your radiator doing nothing. It is a carefully formulated mixture of antifreeze, water, and protective additives that prevent corrosion inside your engine and cooling system. Over time, those additives deplete, the pH balance shifts, and eventually your coolant becomes a corrosive soup that eats away at gaskets, hoses, and metal components from the inside out. Do this. Check your coolant condition periodically. If it looks rusty, sludgy, or contaminated, do not wait. Flush the system and refill with fresh coolant. Use the correct coolant type for your specific car. Not all coolants are compatible. Mixing the wrong types can cause chemical reactions that create gel-like deposits throughout your cooling system. Check your manual or the cap on your overflow reservoir. Next, a habit that improves your miles per gallon and prevents weird drivability issues that make you think something expensive is broken. Number 13, make the engine breathe. Air filter plus intake basics. Your engine is essentially a giant AIR pump. It sucks in air, mixes it with fuel, ignites the mixture, and pushes out exhaust. The more efficiently it breathes, the better it runs. A clogged air filter restricts that airflow. The engine has to work harder to pull in air. Fuel economy drops, and power decreases. In some cases, you get drivability issues that feel like something serious is wrong. Do this. Check your engine air filter regularly. Hold it up to the light. If you cannot see through it, it is time for a new one. This is a cheap part that makes a real difference. If your car is particularly sensitive to intake air, make sure the intake pathway is clean and properly sealed. Air leaks after the mass airflow sensor can cause all kinds of weird running issues that are hard to diagnose. Keep watching. Number 12 is where many mystery problems actually originate, and the fix costs almost nothing. Number 12, fix electrical ghost issues before you replace parts. Here is a scenario I see constantly. The check engine light comes on. You read the code and it points to an oxygen sensor or a misfire. You replace the sensor. The light comes back. You replace something else, still there. Hundreds of dollars later, you are frustrated and confused. The actual problem is often a loose battery terminal or a corroded ground wire that has been there the whole time. Electrical gremlins are sneaky. A bad connection can cause voltage drops that make sensors read incorrectly. The computer sees the bad data, throws a code, and you end up chasing ghosts. Do this. Before you replace any sensor, check the basics. Inspect your battery terminals for that white or green crusty buildup. Make sure the clamps are actually tight, not just seem okay, but properly secured. Clean corroded terminals with a wire brush or terminal cleaner. Check your main ground connections. This 10-minute inspection solves more problems than most people realize. Especially before winter, cold weather is harder on batteries and electrical systems. A marginal connection that worked fine in summer might fail completely when temperatures drop. Next, a habit that prevents a specific fuel system headache that many drivers accidentally cause at the gas station. Number 11, don't top off after the pump clicks. You have probably done this. The pump clicks off and you squeeze in a little more to round up to an even dollar amount. Stop doing that. When you force extra fuel in after the pump's automatic shutoff, you can flood the evaporative emissions system, specifically the charcoal canister that is designed to capture fuel vapors. Liquid fuel in that system causes damage that triggers check engine lights and can lead to expensive repairs. The rule is simple. First click equals stop. Do not try to squeeze in more. The extra 37 cents is not worth a $400 EVAP system repair. Keep this tight because number 10 is a tiny parking habit that saves a surprisingly expensive internal part most people do not even know exists. Number 10, parking on hills. Use this 3-second routine. If you park on an incline and just throw the car in park, you are putting all that weight, 2 tons or more, onto a small metal pin inside your transmission called the parking pawl. Over time, this stress can wear out or even break that pawl. And when it fails, your car rolls away. Not a good day. The routine takes 3 seconds. Hold the brake, engage the parking brake, let it take the car's weight. Then shift into park. Now, the parking brake is holding the car, and the transmission's parking pawl is just a backup, not the primary load bearer. This is especially important if you live somewhere hilly or park in parking garages with sloped surfaces. That little habit protects a part that is buried deep inside your transmission. Next, the habit that extends brake life and keeps your whole car feeling smoother for years. Number 9. Coast earlier. It saves brakes, fuel, and suspension stress. Late, hard braking is one of those habits that feels normal but quietly damages your car over time. When you brake hard, you generate massive heat in the rotors and pads. Repeated heat cycling warps rotors, glazes pads, and dramatically shortens brake life. Hard braking also puts extra stress on suspension components, tie rods, and ball joints as all that weight transfers forward. Do this. Start lifting off the gas earlier when approaching lights, stop signs and corners. Let the car coast down some speed before you apply the brakes. When you do brake, brake smoothly and progressively. Your brakes will last longer. Your fuel economy will improve slightly. And your whole car will feel tighter and more composed for years longer. Keep watching because number 8 is about tires, and tires secretly control how old a car feels more than almost anything else. Number 8. Tire pressure plus alignment equals hidden longevity. Here is something that surprises people. One of the biggest factors in how old a car feels is not the engine or the interior, it is the tires and suspension. Low tire pressure causes uneven wear, poor handling, and decreased fuel economy. Bad alignment does the same thing, and it puts extra strain on steering and suspension components. Drive long enough with these issues and your car starts to feel loose, vague, and worn, even if everything else is fine. Do this. Check tire pressure monthly, seriously monthly. Tires naturally lose pressure over time, and a few PSI low makes a bigger difference than you would think. Get a cheap tire gauge and keep it in your glove box. Rotate your tires on schedule, usually every 5,000 to 7,500 miles, or with every other oil change. If you see uneven wear patterns or the car pulls to one side, get an alignment check. It is usually under $100, and it can save you from buying new tires years earlier than necessary. Next, the habit many of you skip. Replace cheap wear parts before they cause damage that costs 10 times more. Number 7. Don't let small misfires cook your catalytic converter. A misfire might seem like a minor annoyance, just a little roughness, a slight hesitation, maybe a blinking check engine light. No big deal, right? Wrong. A misfire means unburned fuel is passing through your engine and into the exhaust system. That unburned fuel ignites in the catalytic converter, causing extreme heat that can literally melt the internal components. A set of spark plugs costs maybe $50 to $100. A catalytic converter can cost $1,000 to $2,500, sometimes more. Do this. If you feel a new shake, hesitation, or see that check engine light flashing, investigate immediately. Do not drive it for weeks hoping it goes away. Use quality spark plugs and ignition components appropriate for your car. Some engines are picky about plug brands and gap specifications. Going cheap here can cost you big later. Now, habit number 6. This is the one I told you not to miss at the beginning. Number 6, the overheating you don't notice problem, transmission and engine heat management. Earlier, I talked about obvious overheating, the kind where your temperature gauge spikes and steam comes from under the hood. But there is another kind of heat damage that is far more insidious. Some cars run hot without showing obvious symptoms. They are technically within spec, but they are operating at the upper edge of their thermal limits. Under certain conditions, stop-and-go traffic, towing, mountain driving, heavy loads, and hot summer days, they can push past that edge without triggering any warnings. This is especially true for transmissions. Transmission fluid that runs 20 degrees hotter than optimal can have its life cut in half, but there is no gauge, no warning light until something is already damaged. Do this. Treat towing, heavy stop-and-go traffic, mountain driving, and carrying heavy loads as severe service. These conditions require more frequent fluid changes, more attention to cooling system health, and a lower tolerance for any signs of trouble. If you ever notice burnt smells, especially from transmission fluid, slipping between gears, delayed shifts, or any temperature warnings, act immediately. Do not wait to see if it goes away. By the time these symptoms appear, damage is already occurring. This single habit prevents failures that turn into thousands of dollars. I have seen transmissions die at 80,000 miles from heat damage that could have been prevented with $200 worth of fluid changes. Keep watching, because number 5 is the habit that makes many cars feel new again when the symptoms match, and it costs almost nothing. Section 5. Clean, don't guess. Fix airflow issues before replacing expensive sensors. Modern cars have dozens of sensors monitoring everything from air intake to exhaust composition. When something goes wrong, it is tempting to just start replacing sensors based on whatever code the computer throws. But here is the thing. Sensors usually report problems. They do not cause them. A mass airflow sensor code often means the sensor is reading correctly, but what it is reading is wrong because of a dirty air filter, a vacuum leak, or a gunked-up throttle body. Before you spend $150 on a new sensor, address the basics. Check the air filter. Look for cracked or disconnected vacuum hoses. Clean the throttle body if it is appropriate for your car. Check for PCV system issues. You would be amazed how many bad sensor problems disappear when you fix the underlying airflow issue. And even if you do eventually need that sensor, you will know the rest of the system is healthy. Next, the habit that protects fuel delivery and prevents pump strain that leaves people stranded. Number 4, keep more than a quarter tank when possible. The fuel pump in most modern cars sits inside the gas tank, submerged in fuel. That fuel actually helps cool the pump and keep it running smoothly. When you run the tank very low, the pump has to work harder to pull fuel in. It runs hotter. It sucks in any debris or sediment that has settled at the bottom of the tank over the years. Over time, it wears out faster than it should. Do this. Try not to make a habit of living below a quarter tank. Obviously, it happens sometimes. Life gets busy and gas is expensive. But do not make running on fumes your normal operating mode. If you consistently run your tank to empty, you are probably cutting years off your fuel pump's life. And a fuel pump replacement is not cheap, especially on cars where the tank has to be dropped to access it. Keep going, because number 3 is the check engine headache I promised you at the beginning. It is the one that drives people absolutely crazy. Number 3, don't ignore EVAP and vacuum leaks. They spiral into constant warning lights. If there is one category of check engine light that makes people lose their minds, it is EVAP codes. P0440, P0442, P0455. If you have seen these, you know the frustration. The evaporative emission system is designed to capture fuel vapors and prevent them from escaping into the atmosphere. It is a sealed system with lots of hoses, valves, and connections. When there is even a tiny leak, the computer detects it and throws a code. The problem is that these leaks can be incredibly hard to find. If you just keep clearing the code without fixing the underlying issue, you will be playing whack-a-mole with check engine lights forever. Here is what to do. If you smell fuel vapors around your car or you see recurring EVAP codes, do not just clear them and hope for the best. Investigate. Check the gas cap first because a loose or worn cap is the most common cause. Inspect the EVAP hoses and connections for cracks or damage. Stop topping off the tank after the pump clicks. Overfilling the tank is one of the most common causes of EVAP system damage, and it is 100% preventable. Now, the final two habits. These are the mindset shifts that separate owners with 150,000 miles from owners with 400,000 miles. Number 2, fix problems when they are cheap, not when they are dramatic. This might be the most important habit on this entire list. High mileage owners, the people who drive the same car for 15, 20, or 25 years, do not wait for breakdowns. They do not ignore warning signs. They do not tell themselves that it is probably nothing when something changes. A new noise means something is wearing or loose. A new vibration means something is out of balance or failing. A new smell means something is leaking or overheating. These are your car talking to you, and if you listen early, the repair is almost always simpler and cheaper. Here is what to do. When something changes, anything, investigate. Do not wait until it becomes undeniable. $300 of repair today prevents $3,000 of repair next year, every single time. Maintenance is cheaper than repair. Repair is cheaper than replacement. This principle will save you more money over your lifetime of car ownership than any other single piece of advice. Number 1, drive like you want the car to outlive the payments. The biggest longevity hack is not a product or a service or a special technique. It is a mindset. Drive like your car has to last, not because you cannot afford a new one, but because you respect the machine and want to get the most out of it. This means gentle when cold, smooth inputs, acceleration, braking, steering. Keep fluids healthy and fresh. Respond to warning signs early. Do not abuse the drivetrain for momentary thrills. The owners who make it to 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles are not doing anything magical. They are just consistent. They treat their cars with respect, day after day, year after year. Do that and your car has a real chance at the high mileage club. If even one of these 21 habits helped you or made you think differently about how you treat your car, hit the like button. It helps more than you know. And subscribe to Torque and Throttle if you want more content like this. I am building a full series on keeping cars alive for cheap, covering specific makes and models, common problems, and the exact maintenance routines that matter most. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment with your year, make, model, and current mileage. I will look through them and pick the most common cars to feature in upcoming videos. We will turn this into a step-by-step series tailored to the vehicles you actually drive. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.